What's going on, football fans? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Birds. A little bit late here from the game against the Chargers. Night game, and I worked a long shift on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so it was only today that I had a little bit of time. We're going to go through some of the worst plays and some of the missed plays from the Eagles offense here to assess Jalen Hurts and what actually happened in this game, putting some context to a terrible day at the office for him, one that has people talking about benching him and whatnot. Let's go through it. Let's put some context to it and see what actually happened. First drive for the Eagles ends in a sack on third down and I believe 5. Let's take a look at what happens on this play right here and who is at fault and what goes on here. 3rd and 4 it looks like it was. So first off, we have Chargers playing cover 1 man. Man across it here. This guy's blitzing. Linebacker takes over. And we'll have one guy deep. So down at the bottom, we have a curl slant combination, or hitch slant. This would work if they don't have the underneath guy in here, and that's where Jalen Hurts wants to go with to begin with. He wants the safety to get over to this side. That's why he's looking there to the top. Then immediately he's coming back towards the middle here. And then he's looking for this. He's looking for A.J. Brown coming across the middle. That will be an option, but right here as he's looking, you got the linebacker who's dropping low hole, so that's not an option. The only option you could think here would be Devontae Smith coming out the hitch, but they play that really aggressively because why wouldn't they? They've seen all the tape of the Eagles. They run so many hitches that this guy's coming right at it. So if he was to hit that, he had to hit it immediately because this guy is playing it super aggressive. So then he tries to escape out the pocket here because as he's looking up to the top, after he's looked off the safety and wanted to go to AJ and Devontae, you have Tank Bixby, who's wide open there in the flat. But as Hurts is getting back to the progression right here, Bixby is starting to run down the field. He also has a split second before he gets sacked there. So only chance for him there is if Tank Bixby stays in the flat, then he can just try to chug it out there. But ultimately, this was good coverage by the Chargers and a poor rep from Jordan Mailata, who gets beat. So Hurts doesn't have any chance to get rid of this. Remember that if you want to support me, go to Buy Me Coffee, Breaking the Birds. I'll put a link in the description. Thank you to everyone who does. Let's get back to the tape. The next drive here stalls pretty much from the second down because the third down call is the wide receiver screen on 3rd and 8, which never had a chance. This one I think is a little bit more frustrating on Jalen Hurts' part, where we're gonna have that trips formation to the top here, and this is pretty good spacing concept, to be honest. You're gonna have the hitch from Dallas Goedert, who's going to take away that underneath defender here inside the middle. Then you're going to have 2 deep crossers in Darius Cooper and Devontae Smith, and then you're just reading. First off, if it's man, you're reading whoever gets the most separation. Here it's zone, so when this guy's sitting there with the underneath guy, with the underneath route, you're basically looking at where the safeties are going. Okay, so if Devontae clears inside here in the zones, you have an opening there, and that will take away the safety to that side. Then you have a one-on-one situation between either a cornerback or a safety to the backside here, and then you can hit the inbreaker at that point. This never really becomes a thing because Jalen Hurts escapes out of the pocket here, despite, I think, the O-line actually picking up things. I think what he panics about is the edge rusher coming here. Sees him here. Looks right at him, says, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Tyler Steen actually does a good job picking him up here. So pocket presence would be to just take a step up here, await the inside breaking routes, Darius Cooper or Devontae Smith, and then deliver the ball in there. But he gives up on it pretty much and scrambles out of bounds. Next drive ends on 3rd down with this play, where Chargers are coming out here playing cover 2, so man coverage with 2 high underneath defenders, two high defenders playing deep. What we have is a deep sit, we have a seam route, and basically what Jalen Hurts tries to do is get the ball in that spot between the safety and the underneath man coverage guy. Ball is wildly overthrown, not close at all, and almost an interception here. What I don't like about this play is the spacing that is created here. With the seam guy coming up here and the underneath curl, it sort of creates unnecessary traffic and puts a lot on Jalen Hurts to complete the pass in the zone right between the safety and the nickel cornerback. Whereas if you had the hitch route here coming over the middle, or like this isn't even a sticks hitch, so where you're sitting right at the line of the game. This is 6 yards downfield over the middle. So you think that this is supposed to complement the seam that is coming in behind it. But it actually would more complement it if you sit here and take away that guy so he doesn't become a factor. That will create a lot more space in the middle to work with for Jalen Hurts to deliver this ball to where his guy can run in there, okay? You see, because this guy's an issue right here. That's why he has to deliver it as high as he does, and why the ball becomes more pushed towards the outside where the safety is. So I don't think the scheme here, the route setup, really helps Hurts in this situation, but also it's not a good throw. Second down and 10 on this play, and this doesn't kill the drive. And in fact, Hurts gets about 6 yards on the play, 7 yards, 8 yards maybe on the play. So it's a fine play. I want to highlight it because I think it shows there are opportunities down the field that isn't A.J. Brown necessarily. So there you have Jahan Dotson, and I really like the concept. We have some misdirection to Devontae Smith coming out in the flat there, trying to fake pitch it to him. And then you have the underneath guy right here, which basically is just to take away one defender. And then you're threatening the outside here with a wheel route coming in here, and then a deep over route coming up here. So you're threatening the boundary here or the sideline here for the defense. And if you only have one flat defender and he's clearing away with the inside guy, then you have a clear opening right here for a touchdown. In this case here, the flat defender does a good job of coming back for Saquon, which leaves the safety one-on-one with Jahan Dotson. So really well played here from the Chargers. There's some pressure from Fred Johnson's side that Jalen Hurts is feeling, but as he's coming out here and he's looking down the field, like he's looking towards that side, you have Jahan Dotson coming open here all by himself towards the back end of the end zone. Now it's away from your body throw, and it's about 40 yards, so it's a tough throw to make, but that's an opportunity down the field, and if nothing else, then a positive in terms of route combinations. And then the historic play right here, which finishes the drive, which is the interception and fumble from Jalen Hurts on the same play, which is absurd that is even possible to happen. It's super embarrassing. Anyway, Chargers are running cover zero here, and they're dropping guys underneath, so no safety help and coverage. And A.J. Brown is running like a sig where he's coming in here, delaying that he's going inside. So he's faking the hitch right there and then coming back inside. Cornerback plays it well. He's never open, but the D line in fact is dropping into coverage. What's annoying about it is that I don't think Jalen Hurts pre-snap here recognizes that there's no safety help. This guy who looked like he may be the guy in coverage right here, he's shaded to the backside here, so he's shadowed by a guy right behind him, which usually indicates a blitz man. And then you have a clear man look right here. You have a seam coming without safety help over the top from Jahan Dotson, who runs a really good route against the nickel cornerback there. That is a touchdown. And I think it's frustrating because pre-snap, that's not a good route. If this guy goes underneath and man, not a great route. If he's zone, not a great route. But when you're looking at it, there's no safety over the top right here. So whoever was supposed to play deep would have to just pre-snap, turn and run. So Jahan Dotson is pre-snap a really good read already, and then he follows that up with a great route, lob that ball, touchdown. Second interception. Devontae Smith coming in motion. He's going to run a curl route about 12 yards. They usually do that. But take a look at how aggressive the cornerback right here is playing Devontae Smith. They're signaling even pre-snap to each other right here. He's sitting on it all the way. He knows this is coming. Also, not a great route by Devontae Smith, but he's kind of slipping at the top of the route. Kind of slipping a little bit, not the greatest cut. We usually see better routes from Devontae Smith, but that's not the key takeaway here. The key takeaway is that the defense expected this to come. And honestly, like you have two hitches on the play, and then one in breaker from the opposite side, and then just two clear out routes. One in breaker, sit. No wait, that's the outside breaker. He's in coverage. Out, clear out, in, hitch, clear out. Yeah, they knew that was coming. That's the issue with running hitches on 25% of your plays. This is more frustrating to me than the turnover plays, because I think turnovers are usually multifactorial. There are usually many things that go into why a turnover is. It's rarely just a bad pass. But one of the plays like this, where you have a sort of you have a flooding concept here. With an underneath guy to the bottom of the screen. That's where we're flooding. Devontae Smith coming down here to the bottom. You have an intermediate option. You have a deep option. And then we have an opposite attack here coming from the drag route. A.J. Brown is he's so left alone. Where he's coming across right there, right over the middle. Now Hurts is fearing the pressure here as it's coming. But it's not actually coming. This is a good pocket. There's no reason for him to step up or to scramble out of it here. Now, he almost trips as he's coming back here in his drop back. So, naturally, he'd have to gain his footing. But he just panics immediately and never really gets any vision of what's going on ahead of him. Like AJ is so open here. They completely leave him alone. And doesn't result in anything. Next turnover. One for A.J. Brown over the middle. This one here, a couple of things that I think put more perspective into the play. What we're doing is we're threatening over the middle here from opposite sides and creating an opposite levels. So where we have one guy coming from one side, one guy coming from the other in two different spaces of the defense. Chargers playing this well. They're helped out with the underneath coverage guy who Jalen Hurts is overcorrecting a little bit for. They're playing with zone behind it. Now the one guy we have here to the bottom, the one DB we have to the bottom is going to be playing man on A.J. Brown. Since it's zone, there's only one wide receiver. He's going to lock on him and play man. Okay? So, two things. When Jalen Hurts wants to throw the ball right here, A.J. Brown coming inside, he's correcting for the guy right here. So he's trying not to lean him too much inside. That's one. That's why actually looking from the box view here, the trajectory of the pass is okay. Like in terms of width, it just had to be like he's not putting it all the way out here because then you're afraid of this guy right there. When he's releasing the ball, the guy here coming from the right side, bull rushes against Landon Dickerson, who gets pushed back into Jalen Hurts, takes away his he's off foot. Into the throw. I don't know if this is something if that's what takes away what affects the accuracy of him here, but it wouldn't surprise me because when he's playing forward here, he's off foot to the backside there. That gets pushed up in the air. Maybe that's what would push a little bit high. Could A.J. Brown catch it? Probably. He put it on himself. It's behind him and it's high. And it exposes everything right here. That's super tough. I'm not gonna blame that on AJ. I think it's more on Hurts than it is on AJ, but I think that's a matter of subjective opinion. But Hurts definitely will. It's not just 100% inaccuracy. I think it plays a part into it here that he has Landon Dickerson who can't for some reason stand up a guy even though he's coming in a pull, can't stand him up whatsoever. So that's an issue. 3rd and 6 on the next drive here, resulting in an incompletion and a punt. I think this is okay. I mean, they're attacking zone. They got two. It's kind of like a levels hitch concept. I don't know if you can call that. Where you have you have Dallas Goedert and I think Devontae Smith where you're crossing each other and then sitting underneath. Then you have two guys coming underneath. I think that they have an option now to either continue or to sit at the second level. A.J. Brown is completely left alone in behind the hook, the curl, and the flat, and the deep guys. Safety is doing a much more aggressive job on getting up on Jahan Dotson there to the bottom. And A.J. Brown is left alone for quite a while. Now, in the box, or in the pocket, there's no issues with that at all. So this should have been a ball to A.J. Brown all day. Hurts scrambles out the pocket, generates pressure on himself, and then can't get the ball out in time. 100% on Hurts. All right, the final drive in regulation, I believe, for the Eagles here, they've Jalen Hurts taking a shot for A.J. Brown to the top. One-on-one coverage, single high, reads that it's man pre-snap. You could not put this any better. This is an absolute picture-perfect throw. Hits A.J. Brown right in the hands and just needs to be caught. So, potential game winner. Hits him right in the hands. Last play of the day came here in the worst possible fashion here for Jalen Hurts. Really sums up a bad day at the office for him. It's RPO, so he has the chance to give the ball to Saquon Barkley here, keep it himself, or throw it to one of the two guys out here running a sail concept. First things first is we read the defensive end. Is he in a quarterback read or run read? He's in a quarterback read, so this is a clear run indication. Give it to Saquon Barkley, let him work for whatever, and live for the next play here. He decides to keep it himself. He generates pressure on himself, and then it's a matter of not making a mistake here. You can do one of two things. You can gut it in there for Dallas Goedert, who's probably going to get tackled, or is an incomplete pass. It would be what it is. But he throws off foot for Jahan Dotson. He throws it too short to where the flat defender can come up and bat the ball, and then it becomes an interception. So every single thing that could go wrong for Jalen Hurts happens on this play. He's pressing to try to make something happen, wants to do it himself, and it ultimately costs him in the end right here. Because if he didn't want to do it himself, he would just give it away to Saquon Barkley. And if it's a matter of, he read it wrong here, he had to keep it, he understands here, shit, I shouldn't have kept it myself, then it's a matter of throwing it in the dirt or throwing it somewhere to Dallas Goedert. But here he's just pressing to make a big play that isn't there with a flat defender who is in a perfect position to make that play. This was definitely a rough game for Jalen Hurts. I don't think it was as bad as I expected, but I think some of the turnovers actually had better explanations than I thought when looking at the TV copy. There are also a lot of misplays that just really made it clear to me that this was a shit day for Jalen Hurts. He was not feeling it that day. It was one of those. It's just a problem that has been going on for almost a month now. They lost 3 in a row. And they're about to they're throwing away they have thrown away the 1 seed chance, and could be throwing away the division if Dallas continues to pick it up and the Eagles don't find some answers soon. But I think it was good to get some context on this right here. Let me know if there's anything else you want to take a look at this week. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.